Talk about in a standing seam or in a standing seam panel, like the T100, right?
Mm-hmm.
The striated panels. And explain what that means and why it's done.
So when you talk about standing seam, you're going to find 3 different profiles out there. A flat pan, then you got a minor rib, which is 2 pencil ribs that run up it, and then you got striations. So what a lot of people don't understand, and they'll tell you they understand oil canning, but most people don't understand oil canning until they experience.
Listen up right now about oil canning.
Everybody says they understand oil canning. You never understand oil canning until you experience it. I don't know how many jobs I've went out on, and the missus is very unhappy that her roof looks like bacon now at 12 o'clock. Now, it's not doing anything and hurting the panel or anything. It's just the natural process of metal. But the striations, the striated panel, the way that those waves are, it doesn't do away with the oil canning to say. It visually tricks your eye. You can't pick it up. Right. It stiffens that panel to where it's not doing it near as much as a flat pan or a minor rib or a pencil rib. So I always tell everybody, if you're going to do a standing seam, do it in a 26 gauge striated. If you really enjoy the flat pan, I'm old school. I love the flat pan.
Yep.
Oil canning doesn't bother me.
Yep.
It doesn't. And where my roof is, the only people that's going to see it is NASA and anybody that flies over. So oil canning don't bother me.
Right.
But if I was going to do a flat pan, I would do it in a 24 gauge, and I'd do it in a movable clip system.
Yep.
Movable clip system, which that adds cost to it.
Yeah. You're talking about like Z-clips. Yep.
Well, it's a clip. It fastens to the substrate, and it allows that clip moves with that panel about 3/4 of an inch as that panel expands and contracts. But
if you can find a picture and put up in this, Jenna, of like an example of oil canning, because that word doesn't always resonate, but when you see it, you'll be like, oh, that bank downtown, that we drive by every day. That I'm like,
the church that we pass, it's got it.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact of it is, like you said, it doesn't affect the performance, but it is visually unappealing.
Right.
I'm a flat panel guy. Ross hates it. But again, Ross ran a roofing company most of his life, and he knows the calls that come from it. So if he's putting on, he's like, it's striated panels like all day long. My back porch, it's all flat pan. Well, the reason, like, even if it oil cans, no one could see it because of the pitch of it. But like, it doesn't bother me. But if it was on the front of my home where facing the street and I've got this really crazy like 13, 12 pitch, I ain't putting flat pan there because it would be weird. There's a part of the corner of my house, that southern exposed side, where it would look like that all the time.
Right.
And it would just look weird. So, it's understanding that. And then the fact that if you mention that in a meeting, everyone in our office knows what they're talking about there.
Right. And
then you got guys like Jeff on the backside of this to where they're metal experts. It's all they do all day is metal. There's ways to work around that. So, I've heard people come in and say, yeah, we were going to go with that standing seam stuff, but man, it just looks like crap. And we're like, yeah, but we could fix that, There's
a lot of ways around it. And I know the first time as we started our partnership and I started talking about standing seam to your sales team, I mean, the first thing that I told him, whatever you do not sell a flat pan, because I'm like Ross selling it to the public, because you can make them sign a waiver. They can read about it. They can even see pictures of it.
Yep.
But until it gets on their house and they've paid that kind of money for that standing seam, man.
Especially when they go with the beautiful black.
Right.
Yeah, well, and, hey, I'll tell you what. Let's talk about that, because there is a massive trend in the last 24 months of all black Barndos, and we've built plenty of them.
Black is beautiful, baby.
Yeah, people are obsessed with it right now. It's like, the white farmhouse is a forever staple in the Southeast, right? That ain't ever going anywhere.
Nope.
The black and white combo, like we call it tuxedo,
right?
It ain't going nowhere. But the black on black has like come in with like this. It's all the craze about everything right now. So like all black on black. Here's what people can come to expect. Black shows everything. I drive black vehicles. Black is my favorite color. I love everything about it. Like I wear black 99% of the time. my cars are black. Guess what? My black cars, if you don't wash them every other day, they don't look good.
Right.
Because they show every imperfection.
Right.
The way black absorbs heat and absorbs light, it lends itself to show variables.
Right.
And metal expands and contracts. You know what doesn't move unless you have this floating clip system like you're talking about? The fastener.
Right.
That fastener's not moving.
Right.
So if the fastener's not moving and the metal is moving, what's going to happen? It's going to bubble up, pop down, bubble up, pop down. It's going to look wrinkly. And sometimes it's just the way the light reflects off of black, because you got a shadow on a part of it and you got light gleaming off the other part of it, and it looks like, oh my God, there's wrinkles all in this.
Right.
And then some of it is the metal's naturally going to move. Mm-hmm. But with black, I've had more customers lose their mind. Now, can it be an install and properly installed? Of course.
Sure.
Do we address those? Yes. Because there'll be somebody listening and be like, you just don't know how to put it in. Yeah, okay. The black shows every minor thing. So when it comes to putting on, rake trim and the edge trim on the gables and all that stuff, and like even our fascia metals and things that we're putting on, talk about some of that. Like from your perspective, if somebody walks in and says, "Hey, I want to do black everything," like explain some of that. And then the antithesis to that, like what colors don't show that as much?
I mean, when people start talking, well, white don't show, white ain't move as much. You can look at the SR values, and white definitely is going to have a lower solar reflective index. But the bad thing about white, I mean, everybody when they're working, their hands are getting dirty, so you're seeing all those prints. The good thing about y'all, because of what y'all do, we've now got 3 different colors of black. 2 of them are because of you. Hey, they are. Right. I mean, everybody says, I don't like that gloss black. Yep. Well, guess what? Because of Barndo, we've got low gloss now, and we've got matte black just for you and your customers. Yep. And anybody else that's listening out there, you need that. They've got it here in Greenville, waiting for you to buy it.
Yeah, the matte black was a conversation of us going, we got to solve this problem. Yep. I was hoping you'd bring that up because that matte black panel.
Because a lot of people, the gloss really, it's to me, it's not appealing. We have also got HD, which is a textured black. I love that. Yep. Anybody that wants to do a black standing seam, let's talk HD textured, or we're going to do matte black.
Yep,
that's just it. But getting back to your question about getting away from some of those imperfections, a lot of it is just installers taking their time. Can they overdo on screws and stuff like that? They can. I mean, the material that they're putting down with it, I mean, me and you are a little bit of older generation. We didn't have the impact tools. Yeah. I mean, it was just a drill.
Yeah.
And you hope that the pine was soft enough that the drill would be able to get it through. Now you got impacts, and if you don't set them right, it'll start taking the paint off of it.
Yep.
We've got touch-up paint for that, but you don't want to get to that point, so you're hoping that your installer, got those settings right, And sometimes wood's tricky because you hit them hard spots in wood and you hit them soft spots in wood. But on your trim, you want to put just enough, where wind don't take it off.
Yep.
And not too much to where it looks like, you've shot it with a 12 gauge.
Hot riveted down in there.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Barndo Show podcast. If you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're listening to this content, hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And then be sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms at the Barndo Co. Super simple to find us. And then when you're ready to dive in a little more, maybe look around some of our available floor plan options or take a look at the gallery of our work, or maybe you're ready to connect with our team and explore what it looks like to build your dream barndominium, you can visit us online at thebarndoco.com.